Welcome to Creating a Latte. Today I will demonstrate how to create a latte and to make latte art. So a lot of people ask, what is a latte? Well, basically it sounds like a fancy drink, but it's really not that as fancy as it sounds. How it started in Italy, and it's basically condensed coffee, compacted coffee to create a more caffeinated beverage than just regular drip coffee. So most people aren't really familiar with like how it works or what a machine is or like what ingredients we need. So today we have coffee, obviously, coffee grounds. Most of the time you're going to want fresh coffee beans so you can just grind it, but since I don't own a grinder, this is what we got. You're going to need a pitcher to house your milk. Usually you want to use pretty high quality milk. Today I just picked up some whole milk on the way here. This is a tamper. We will get to that in a second. And this is a cup with a saucer to house the coffee. And what is this thing? This is a espresso machine. Usually if you see them in cafes or in shops, they're pretty big machines. They usually have 2 or 3 group heads. This is more for like housing or for a single use, or if you just have it in your apartment. If I take out the portafilter, this is a pretty dirty portafilter, but this actually houses the coffee. You're going to pour the grounds into here, and then you're going to compact it with this. I will demonstrate that in a second. You're going to put it right back in there, if it even goes back in. There we go. And then you're going to take the pitcher, and you're going to steam the milk. So in the first demonstration, I will show you how to measure the coffee or put it in the portafilter. So I'm going to take the portafilter back out. I'm going to take the coffee. I don't have a scale, but generally we want to use a type of coffee or a type of ground that is medium to it's a medium coarse ground, so the water can get through the portafilter easily. And usually we want to use about 30, or sorry, not 30. We want to use about 20 to 22 grams of coffee. This seems about right. Let's see. Before you put it in, or before you tamp it with the tamper, you want to make sure that the grounds is completely flat on all sides. You're going to take the tamper, flip that over, and make sure that you have a equal tamp. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to turn on the machine. It says it's ready to go. We will take the cup, put it under the portafilter, and hit start. And while this is happening, generally we would just steam milk while we were making the coffee. But since this machine can only use one at a time, like coffee or machine, or coffee or steaming, we're just going to wait for the coffee to completely pour. Basically, what you want to check for when you're making coffee is you want to make sure that the extraction of the coffee is equal, it's centered. You don't want it flailing out to all different sides. It's not going to taste good at all. So yeah, while the coffee's brewing, it usually takes about 20 to 35 seconds, depending on what coffee you're using. Today we're using a Costa Rican anaerobic process coffee. That sounds really, really interesting and fancy, but it's really not all that fancy at all. And basically, when we get back from the break, we will show you how to just steam the milk and make latte art. So.
Tired of oversleeping? We've got your solution. Introducing the Hygienator 5000. Get your most tedious tasks done on the go. Say goodnight to bad hair days.
Hey, what's that?
It's the Hygienator 5000.
Whoa. Thanks, Hygienator 5000. welcome back to the show. We just talked about how to put the coffee in the portafilter to make espresso and compact all the coffee, and now we get to the actual fun stuff, which is the latte art. A lot of people, especially if you're working in a cafe, will see you do latte art, and they'll wonder how you're doing it, or, oh, that's really cool. Can you do it again? It takes actually a lot of practice, and I wouldn't say it takes skill, but practice for sure. So basically, you're gonna take your whole milk. You wanna use whole milk because it's not the thickest, but it's definitely not skim milk. And you can make some pretty good art with it. There's 3 different types of latte art, generally. There's a heart, which is the easiest, a rosetta, which is kind of looks like a weird looking Christmas tree plant, and then the third is a tulip, which is my favorite because it looks like a bunch of hearts just stacked on top of each other. Let's see how this goes. Let's see. Oh good, it's not going. Oh good. Let's see. 1 second here. Oh, no, not that. There we go. And you want to steam the milk until it gets to about 150 degrees. You want to make sure there's no bubbles, which right now there's a ton of bubbles. This machine takes a little while just because it's an old machine, but we'll see. All right, makes a lot of sound. Okay, so the coffee and the milk are both in really bad shape, but I will try to demonstrate how to make latte art. This is going to be very hard because there is 0. Nope, it's not working, but that's not how you make latte art. No one needs to drink this coffee. It's really bad. Basically, but we're not finished. I can easily give this to a customer. It's servable. It's probably going to taste terrible, and they're probably going to throw it away. But we're not finished. You need to turn the machine off completely. You need to wipe down all materials and make sure that this is completely cleaned out. If we had water available, we would do that. Milk closed. Coffee closed. I will talk about how to correctly do latte art. So basically, what I just demonstrated was a really bad example of how to make really, really, really frothy art. Generally, if we're trying to teach somebody, we would just show them that you want to put the pitcher into the milk or into the steamer, and you want to make sure that it's barely hitting the milk, just a little bit, just with the tip. And you want to turn the machine on, turn the steamer on, and make sure that the milk twirls in like a cyclone almost. You want to make sure that there's a big whipping, and like it sounds like a cat screaming. It sounds like a cat just in trouble. And you want to take the pitcher, dunk it a little bit so that the milk doesn't have any bubbles in it. Take the milk out, and you want to make sure that the crema is still there in the coffee. Just right now, there was no crema, but when we come back next week and we show you how to make an Earl Grey tea, we will show you how to make that way better than we just made a latte.